It is Monday afternoon, November 2nd at 1:30 p.m. And we are base camping this week outside of Ridgway, Colorado, which means we're going to spend most of the week at this campsite right here, and then in the days ahead, we're going to venture out in the Jeep. There's mountains to the east with national forests, there's Ridgway in the valley below, so there's a lot to explore, and then at night we'll come back here. We're doing it this way for a few reasons. First, we have two vehicles this week, so we'll leave one at camp during the day and come back to it at night. Second, we have good cell service here, so we have connectivity for our computers to get some work done. Not to mention, in this part of Colorado, in Ridgway County, it's mostly high elevation. So you go into the surrounding national forests and you quickly go up to 8,000, 9,000 feet. Right now, we're at 7,300 feet. And in early November, you don't want to camp much higher than that or you're going to start running into ice and snow. So base camping at a location that is comfortable just seems like a good idea right now. Kirkland chicken breast. One of the things that, I've been on the road for 4 years. I don't have a can opener except for my Leatherman. Most cans have tabs on them nowadays. So if there's anything that I need to add to my kit, it's just a rudimentary can opener.
Canned chicken's maybe not the most appetizing thing to look at, but it does the job. And it's chicken rice stew with a bunch of freeze-dried and dehydrated vegetables. Nothing came from the refrigerator, nothing's fresh. So if you're down to your last few cans of items, just put it in a soup.
Daylight savings ended as of last weekend, so it's going to get darker a lot earlier. It's 2 p.m. and the sun's already low in the sky. Throughout the winter, that makes finding a campsite a little bit more urgent than during the summer. If I spend all day out in the backcountry, I need to have it in my mind to start looking for a campsite at around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. I mentioned this before, but I have a guideline to always try to find a campsite before it gets dark out. That way, for personal security, you're aware of your surroundings when you get to camp. This is really good.
Yeah.
3 p.m. hike. We're following a track up the mountain right near our campsite. Just out for a stroll and out exploring. It's a great view. Another dispersed campsite just up the hill from ours with a great view of the mountains to the south. Stone fire ring, and it has a rug. It really ties the campsite together. Hey buddy, are you getting warm? Yeah, it feels nice in here, doesn't it?
I'm gonna have you do the cooking.
What do you mean?
You can pour it equally into those cups.
It's soup.
Potato soup.
Potato soup. We're going to call it a night, but tomorrow morning we're going to head into Ridgway for a little bit, grab some breakfast, and then take the Jeep out and do some exploring. It's Tuesday morning, November 3rd, 2020, and we're in Ridgway, Colorado. We got coffee, and now I'm looking over Gaia GPS, determining where we're going to go from here. Ouray is just a stone's throw to the south, but I want to try to keep the Jeep off of the high elevation tracks because there's snow and ice in the mountains right now. We are considering following forest roads to the east, or traveling west and exploring the vicinity between Ridgway and Telluride. We know this forest road's a spur, according to Gaia GPS. It runs south for about 7 miles, and for the most part it's flanked by private land. But the last mile or so is in the national forest with these towering mountains to the south, surrounded by aspens in every direction. Even the known dead ends are well worth exploring. (9,200 feet), we're starting to see some ice and snow on the track, but it's a fairly straightforward track and it's just in the shady spots. So we're going to keep going for now, taking great care. We don't have much farther to go to the end of the road anyway. Nice and slow through the ice patch. Let RNG get bogged down. I'll stand in front of the camera so you can see it. So you can see where to drive around because I've got it really low. Press the axle button the axle lock button twice.
Up or down?
Down. And there you have the Rubicon's locking differentials in action. That was a really good example. This is it. The road terminates just past the clearing at this final campsite. Someone was camped here and they left their ice bags. I don't know how long ago, but these are still ice bags. Although we have this place all to ourselves at the moment, there's a lot of imprints in the snow and also trash. So people were here recently and the area seems to get a lot of use. But a beautiful, beautiful spot. Wow, look at that, straight ahead. We still have camp set up in Ridgway, Colorado, which is 30 miles?
About, yeah.
So we're just gonna get acquainted with Telluride a little bit, spend some time here, and then work our way back to camp. Does the sky look angry to you?
Absolutely it does. Back to camp, let's go. Telluride saying bye. Gorgeous sunset.
Good morning, Finegan. Did you sleep well? Oh, yep. Wednesday morning, and Finegan's ready for adventure. It's a nice stream and clearing down below. It's still private land, but not for long. We're going to be in public lands, maybe a quarter of a mile, right down here. We had the option of going to a mountain pass, which was a through road, or a forest road spur. Just like we did yesterday, we went down the forest road spur and we found just an amazing field, clearing, pasture at the end with campsites. We're doing a bit of the same today to see where that takes us, and already it's been just stunning. The track is degrading and it is absolutely beautiful out. As a matter of fact, we just passed a junction. Which way do we go? I think the junction will terminate first, so we'll go check that out first. Yay. And then come back up and explore that.
It looks like there's another junction right there too.
Oh yeah, maybe that's alternate.
I bet they link up, is my guess.
trek terminates at a dam or an irrigation canal just upstream. And it's a short spur about a mile long in the national forest, lined with some beautiful creekside campsites. Now we're going to backtrack to a junction and follow a longer spur that runs parallel to this at a higher elevation. This is a great spot. It's another dispersed campsite about 3 miles in down a National Forest Road. And we're not going to spend the night here, but it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm going to use this opportunity to grab a bite to eat. It's a well-established site with a stone fire ring. There's another one over there and a wooden table between 2 trees. Looks like someone tried to make a really cool fort against the riverbank here. There's not much left of it today. Trusty Coleman 2-burner propane stove that I've been using for a very, very long time.
This is smoked pulled pork that I got from Costco a while back. Crisp it up in a pan and you're done.
And this is expired baby spinach.
This is spinach that is best if used by about 2 weeks ago. So we'll see how that goes. These are already cut up, and usually they are flash frozen at the peak of freshness. So this means I don't have to do any chopping, but we still get some vegetables in. Broth, things like that are easy. You don't have to do a lot of seasonings and actually throwing things together. These are microwavable pouches of rice. These are super easy as well.
How much water do we need?
Try at least half that bottle to begin with.
Okay.
Okay, that's good for now. Okay. And then we're gonna put one of those packets of bone broth in. Cool.
Yeah, smell the bone. Stirring apparatus?
Yep. Go ahead and stir. Looks gross, tastes yummy.
I do not think that looks gross remotely.
Looks like real food.
I always get 1 or 2 of these Crystal Geyser spring waters at the grocery store and periodically fill my Nalgene. I like this brand of spring water in particular because the containers fit perfectly in the back seat between the refrigerator and, well, the back seat. And I keep the spent containers just in case. Sometimes to refill them with a different source.
This is mine. Now I'm going to add rice to Chris's serving. And he's just going to heat this up and eat it right out of the bowl.
And what's the name of this?
Meat and vegetables. Meat, vegetables, and a little bit of starch soup.
Bon appetit. It's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're done with our lunch break. It is
2:30-ish?
2:30-ish, and we're continuing along the track. We have about 2 miles of unexplored left. And then according to Gaia GPS, it comes to a dead end.
Yeah, check out the moss on these trees. That's something that almost looks Pacific Northwest rather than Colorado.
Yeah, you're right.
This is cool.
The track goes right next to the riverbed.
Yeah.
We're almost at the end of our track and we've reached a beautiful, beautiful valley surrounded by white aspen trees, mountains on all sides. We're not quite at the end yet, but this is phenomenal. A world-class campsite located among the aspens, surrounded by mountains. This spot is great. Someone was just here because there's two big square imprints over here surrounded by snow. I love the horseshoes on the benchwork. Whomever crafted this campsite gave it their own personal touch. That campsite was incredible back there. That is one to nab. Whomever was there last looked like they were there for, you know how there's a 14-day limit? Those imprints made it look like someone settled in for a while.
And the tracks that we were just following just reversed right there.
Yeah.
So...
Well, so far so good. It looks like it thawed since the last snow.
Yeah. I think we have officially come to the end of the line.
This is it. The track terminates abruptly at the riverbed and a dispersed campsite within those trees. It's around 3:30 p.m. and we're already losing daylight, so we're going to make our way back to our base camp in Ridgway. But again, exploring a forest road that we knew to be a spur paid off with some gorgeous scenery and some amazing campsites. It's bright and early Thursday morning, and the sun is just cresting over the horizon to the east right now. We're in the process of breaking camp, and this has been a wonderful base camp this week because it's not far from the highway. There has been absolutely no vehicular traffic driving by camp, and as you can see, it's a stone's throw from some phenomenal scenery. After we're finished up here at camp, we're going to head down into town, grab some coffee, and I'm going to do some more exploring. Heading east, following a forest road toward a high elevation pass. And it looks like, according to Gaia GPS, it goes up to around 10,000 feet. I'm not seeing any snow or ice on the west face, but what we've been finding this week is shady spots at around 8,500 feet and above start to get a little bit sketchy. Right now it's a well-groomed dirt road, but if this starts getting questionable in any way on the way up, I'm going to turn around, go back down, and find another way. I'm at just over 10,000 feet, and today, in early November 2020, the tracks on top of this mountain are mostly thawed. There are some ice and snow patches in the snow, but generally it's passable. People are out in their side-by-sides. I pass a Forest Service truck. The ranger gave me a wave. However, it's important to note that this is off-season for the Colorado mountains. Although it's mild and melted up here today, next year at this time could be a different story. Could be knee-deep in snow and it could be completely impassable. So when you consider exploring the mountains late in the season, always know conditions before going in. And I learned this lesson myself not too long ago in Montana. It's the end of the road. Once again, another spur. This one was primitive for about 2 miles and it terminated here, which features a trailhead into the wilderness and the mountains. This is another stretch of forest road in the area with just a gold mine of beautiful dispersed campsites. Gonna have to come back here in the warm season. It's around midday on Thursday and I have a lot of ground to cover before I get back to pavement, so I better head out. This week it was all about the Forest Road spurs. We intentionally drove down a number of tracks that we knew would terminate after a few miles or so. It's easy to look at your GPS and see that the road's a dead end and then just keep driving. But I'll tell you what, it's these dead-end forest roads that just kind of wander into the mountains that offer really interesting geographic features. They have the dispersed campsites that are the best kept secrets. All right. I have an appointment for the Jeep in New Jersey, and I'm visiting family back in Pennsylvania. So next week I'm going to hit the highway and do the long cross-country drive back to the East Coast. I'm going to do that all in a straight shot, and I'll probably spend most of the time on pavement, but I do have a special episode planned for next week. Something different. I'm excited to see how it comes together. I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode in and around the mountains of Ridgway, Colorado. As usual, thanks for following along, and I will catch up with you again next week. Probably on the East Coast somewhere.